Roma is a special film. It's one of those anomalies that is guaranteed to sweep the awards, while at the same time be appreciated by me. The key to its greatness, I believe, is its simplicity. All the film asks of you is your patience. Don't look at your phone, as I regularly do when watching movies. Don't get up and make yourself a pancake while taking a shit and trying to watch the movie from across the hall. To tell you the truth, I was highly skeptical of this film up until the halfway point. The style of the film is so strange and distant. It's literally all long shots and all long takes. And as a minor criticism, I could say that the contrast level of the black and white photography was a little much, but this comes down to personal preference, and I can see why Cuarón chose to shoot it this way. His use of pans is almost reminiscent of Kurosawa, and I'm sure I'm not the first critic to draw that comparison. I can't recall a single close-up that singles out any one character, and yet the emotions conveyed in Roma are some of the most direct and honest I've seen in recent movies. Simply put, this is the story of Cleo, a Mexican housemaid in Mexico, thought I'd clarify that, who works for a rich family. She becomes pregnant, and several segments of karma and hardship occur. There are several side characters whose personalities are clearly defined. Cleo herself is sort of a blank slate, almost treated as a Virgin Mary figure, and that might be the point. Personally, and this movie perfectly captured how after a certain period of time, they can become part of your family, at least for a little while. There's a whole background plot going on as well. Cuarón includes scenes of the student revolution of the 70s in Mexico, and it's woven into the main narrative incredibly well. Now, if you only read the synopsis of this film, you would think you've seen it before, but just in the way it's presented, I can tell you that you haven't. I was never a huge fan of Alfonso Cuarón, yet I'm convinced that only he could have told this story in this way. The film could have been a giant manipulative clusterfuck on so many levels, but he never lays on the pathos too thick. As for his other films, I know I gave a stellar review to Gravity and even put that at number 2 on my 2013 list. Then upon a rewatch, I realized what a massive CGI turd it was and how wrong I was to think it was so great. But there was no denying the visual impact of that film, nevertheless. The same can be said of Children of Men, which is in its own right a decent film, but I think it's massively overrated. Roma is the first film of his that I've seen that I know is great. And if there's one weakness to this film that prevents me from giving it a 10 out of 10, it's that the symbolism occasionally seems forced. For example, there's a scene where a bunch of villagers are putting out a fire in the woods. Gorgeous scene, flawlessly composed and choreographed. It has a sweep that can easily be called poetic. It tells a story. Then, out of nowhere, this fucking chicken man cloaked in feathers starts singing for no reason. At that point, I had to call time out. Jeez, what the fuck are you doing, man? The scene is perfect as it is. You didn't need this symbolic bullshit. Stop singing and grab a bucket, you fucking asshole. Get off the screen. And there are just a couple of other scenes that I would argue rely too heavily on Deus Ex Machina just to complete a character arc, particularly with the character of Fermin. I have no complaints about his character overall. These are minor issues. The film more than compensates with ambitious visuals and several powerful sequences. I experienced a wide range of emotions while watching. They're sad and absurd, gut-wrenching and ironic, lonely and lovely, and it wasn't until the second half that I realized what the film was going for all along. It's rare that the main crux of a movie relies not on plot convenience but on empathy, and that's what this film is going to be remembered for. Cuarón didn't need to present this film the way he did with the Mexican Revolution going on in the background, but it was certainly an ambitious decision. This is a small movie told on a large scale. Each scene asks a question that may not be fully answered until the next scene or several scenes later. Yet it's very easy to guess what's going on, even if you don't speak Spanish and turned off the subtitles. It never comes off as preachy. If you simply read the synopsis of the movie, you might expect a hideous diatribe on feminism and toxic masculinity, but the film never really tries to make a point about anything. It simply regards characters with humanity, which is especially refreshing in an age where so many films are desperately trying to shove identity politics down your throat. Roma is different. It has no agenda, it's simply about a pregnant Mexican woman, among other things. This is a humble and moving film with a few issues, but not enough to stifle its greatness. It's on Netflix, so you really have no excuse not to see it unless you're Amish, and who cares about you anyway? They're literally the only group I haven't offended yet because they won't find me. Somebody on the internet could say, I'm Amish and I'm offended. I'd be like, no, you're not. You're going to hell for that. Go drink some rotten milk, you fucking bitch. Anyway, this will probably wind up on my 2018 list, and on that list, I won't have to explain this movie in further detail, so I actually just cut out a possible extra 2 minutes of that upcoming video. For now, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I just want to thank all of you again for watching and subscribing. I've been very busy traveling and doing a bunch of bullshit, but I'm back to work. I'll have tour dates lined up for my stand-up act by next year. I'll also be trying to put out videos at a more regular pace and kind of cross. Alright, bye.